basically went from drop shipping into like just a bit more of like kind of different consultancies for online marketing and whatnot, and then came back to start the brand probably 2 years ago.
Okay.
The Anaconda Fightwear, and been kind of obviously working on that for a while, and it's been like a bit of a new challenge because marketing has kind of been our thing, and obviously like getting products developed is a completely new thing again. So just been kind of figuring that out as well, and yeah, like I'd say probably since like October time, we kind of something kind of clicked for us, and yeah, it's really picked up a lot since then. To be honest, like right now we could probably like double our ad budget, but we weren't really prepared for our new product launch to go so well.
So before you started dropshipping, as you said.
Yeah.
What was you doing before that?
I had a job with with the Scottish government, just in the HR office, and kind of was just drop shipping in my spare time.
Right. So it was nothing related to marketing or e-commerce?
Nothing related to marketing. I went to Thailand a few years ago and then came back. I basically quit my job and went to Thailand, came back and got into like a job with the government, and then was just like, all I could think about was going back to Thailand. So I was like, what am I doing here? So that was quite a good motivation to kind of go and work it out. And as I said, kind of had a bit of success with drop shipping, but just I guess the different problems that came up with the business model that I wasn't really fully ready for, kind of made my business, it was just up and down all the time.
Yeah, it probably wasn't that enjoyable either, right?
Yeah, there was just like, it just felt, I always thought that something was going to come up, which is why like for a while I was doing like marketing consultancy, and I didn't really have those kind of issues.
Yeah.
But at the same time, yeah, there's just for us now, it's taken a bit longer to kind of create the brand as opposed to just a kind of dropshipping business. But it's great now because we're seeing so much.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, it's amazing when you're able to, find a passion and also kind of make it your career, so to speak, or make money out of it. When you match those two together, things usually just work, and it doesn't. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but it doesn't feel like a job, right? It's much more enjoyable than you trying to sell products you don't really want to sell or don't know how to sell. But I mean, how long have you been doing BJJ for? Has it been quite
probably about 4 or 5 years, so around the same kind of time, really. So yeah, it has been a lot of fun, and like you'll have seen us like in just getting our first kind of orders in for different products and things like that. So it's kind of, as you said, things have just kind of started to work.
When did you first make that connection? When did you think, hold on a second, I kind of know e-commerce now, and I love BJJ. What can I sell? Well, do I sell physical products based on BJJ? And what do I start with? Where did you first come up with that connection? What did you try first?
I don't know. I just like kind of wanted to create a brand that I was like going to be proud of, and something that I thought would be fun to create the products for. And that's what kind of drove me towards this market, because I kind of thought that looking at them, like a lot of the products that were out there, I kind of felt that there could be a bit more style on them. So I kind of felt there was like a space for us to do something a little bit different.
So would you say the gap that you saw or you're seeing is aesthetic mainly?
I'd say at first that's kind of what I thought, and then obviously now our knee brace is our main product, which kind of just came about because while we were developing our rashguards and different products, that we were like, let's just start selling something and getting some momentum going. Let's figure out what we can bring to this market that people might want. And then we were like, okay, well, probably the biggest issue that people have is knee issues, so let's go with a knee brace. And then that's kind of went like at first it was going really well, but kind of struggling to scale up. So we were just like, well, maybe it's just not that big of an opportunity. And then when we got our rash guards and shorts made and put that together with the knee brace like kind of leaped up our level again. So we're like, right, okay, maybe there is something to this product that we've not been seeing.
Sure.
And then obviously, when we like created the custom knee brace that we developed with you guys at the start of the month,
Mhm.
Things just kind of went through the roof with that.
Amazing.
We've had Joe Rogan buy one of
Oh,
some of the
really?
products. Yeah,
Wow, that's great.
yeah. So it's
Yeah, mate,
pretty cool, man.
if you can get that on his podcast, you'll be laughing.
Oh, I've been trying, man. I won't give up.
How long ago did he purchase one?
He bought one in December, actually.
Oh,
So it wasn't one of the newer ones,
oh, okay.
unfortunately. But like,
Have
we
you tried
messaged him.
have you tried sending him like a gift parcel?
We've done that. So we actually messaged him and he got back to us like straight away, like,
Oh,
yeah, I'd love to have one of some of your new ones. So we sent that to him. And I don't know if he's just been busy or whatever, but he's just been saying I've not had a chance to use it yet. So I'll just need to keep following up with him.
yeah, he's probably crazy busy.
Yeah, I think he just launched a new business as well, so he'll be working on that.
What's the logistics, how you've set it up? You're obviously ordering bulk inventory,
yeah,
and you're only doing local shipping. Is that concentrated in the US only for the moment, or?
yeah. So it's pretty much the US. We're also shipping to Canada as well.
From the US?
We ship to other countries, but we don't advertise in them just
Sure.
because the time it takes to get there, people aren't. Yeah.
Cool. So, well, it sounds like it has huge potential. You know, BJJ, the niche is huge all around the world, and it sounds like you're just scratching the surface. So I'm you know, really interested to see where you can take this brand. And you know, you could say it's in its infancy, and for you to you know, Joe Rogan order alone is kind of just shows you where this brand can go. So yeah, I've got, you know, high hopes for this, and fingers crossed you can scale it.
Cheers,
like
man.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. So thank you very much for, you know, explaining your background and where you've taken the brand, when you hope to take the brand. Do you have any specific questions that you want to ask, whether that's related to logistics or product development or anything related to e-commerce? Fire away.
So I guess for us right now, like, we can to grow the business. We're looking to obviously scale our knee brace to its highest potential, and we've got some other brace products that we're kind of developing with your team at the moment. The elbow brace and ankle brace, and the ankle brace is pretty much we're kind of trying to figure out the sizing on it a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's kind of so my headphones are sound like they're running out of battery. That's what's been kind of holding us back from actually placing the order a little sooner.
Right.
And so yeah, I guess, and also with some of the t-shirt samples that we got, the sizing, it was just a little bit kind of off on them as well. So
Right.
I guess like sizing seems to be something that we're kind of having a little bit of a kind of bottleneck with,
Right.
trying to get it right kind of first time.
Okay.
So
it's,
yeah.
you would say the main kind of bottleneck at the moment just comes down to product development, being able to. Oops,
Internet.
so 1 second. I think it might be my network.
There we go.
Stupid VPN over here. Right, let's. Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Sorry about that. Yeah. So from what I understand, the main kind of bottleneck is product development. So being able to develop the products, make the products, mainly based around sizing, without too much, you know, back and forth and trying different samples and this, that, and the other. How many at the moment? Obviously, with knee braces, it's probably a bit easier. It's not like, you know, rash guards where you need different sizing. I'm thinking with the knee braces. How many different sizes are you aiming for? Is it 2, 3?
So for the knee brace, right now we've got triple extra small, extra small, double extra small, small, medium, large,
Oh wow,
extra large, double extra large, triple extra large. So we've got 9 sizes at the moment.
Oh right, wow.
Yeah, and we're kind of trying to figure that part out as well, because what we're kind of learning is that what we've learned recently is that some people have big thighs and some people have big calves, and
Of
like
course. Yeah.
we've just been going with the thigh measurement, but we've been looking at some of our competitors who are also using like the calf measurement as well.
Sure.
So we're like, yeah, we kind of we're realizing that we need to kind of somehow figure out how to get our sizing a bit better on that end.
Yeah,
but that's
I think.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, I don't know if that's just for that kind of product specifically is obviously a bit more kind of niche, and we kind of just need to investigate it and try and figure it out.
Yeah, it sounds like, because obviously the vast difference of anatomy of different people, you know, some people are going to have really big thighs, but really skinny kind of shins and that the lower part, and the opposite as well. So by the sounds of it, it looks like you may need to approach this differently, and instead of having kind of a different size, different sizes, you create a kind of, I don't know, 3 sizes, and they are all somehow adjustable, or you can adjust the tightness of the lower part and the top part, something like that. But you know, it's easier said than done. But it's definitely doable, of course. It just, as you say, comes down to product development and being able to test them out. And I mean, this is the great thing about me coming to China and being physically present, especially with something like this, is that because I like BJJ too, and you know, I plan to find a decent place to practice. And not only would I be, you know, working out and doing a hobby, but it would allow me to also physically test your products, because I would want to. Because, you know, I can't, aside from finding somebody, I mean, I don't have any friends over here who practice any kind of martial, well, they do practice martial art, but not BJJ. So it'd be difficult for me to give it to somebody I know and get direct feedback from them. It's much easier and quicker getting, you know, doing it myself. And yeah, I mean, just stuff like that, it's going to be much quicker to get feedback and make decisions without us having to ship it to you. You ship it back, samples here, there. But in saying that, it's obviously it's always best for you to have the samples and to test it physically out yourself. But what I'm saying is, it's going to cut out a lot of the kind of guesswork and that stuff if I'm physically doing the testing. So I'm looking forward to that as well. But yeah, I mean, that's great. It's a challenge, but it's not the end of the world. It's not rocket science. I'm sure we can, you know, mutually come up with some really good, unique design. Hopefully something that's going to be a first to the market, that you will be able to use that angle for, because it sounds as though this is a gap in the market. You know, if there isn't a kind of fightwear company that has a really good fitting knee brace for different weights and different anatomies, if you can find like a perfect fit, as I said, if you get like 3 designs and they're adjustable, they're comfortable, they do the job. I mean, you tell me, I don't know, I've not seen anything like that on the market. They're usually just kind of one size fits all, or maybe a few different sizes. Nothing that's going to be like a perfect fit, because, correct me if I'm wrong, your customers probably won't know which size to order. It's more like a testing. They order it, put it on, fits good or it doesn't.
Yeah, by and large, what seems to be happening, we're doing our best to actually try and guide people by like their weight, because I don't know how many people are actually going to be measuring their thigh or their calf. Like,
exactly.
About me and some of my guys I know that do training and that, like yourself as well, you'll know, like, I don't know how often do we have like a tape lying around that is like a builder's tape that we can actually measure ourselves with. So the adjustables thing's a good idea. Yeah, I can't imagine in my head what that would be like, but I think that would be like the perfect thing if we could get that right.
I've already got kind of ideas in my mind. But yeah, I think that the first thing we would need to do is, I mean, we can obviously start with kind of ideas and development now, but until we can get the product to the market and actually make a decision, it could be 2 months down the line. But at least, you know, we can start. That's the thing. I mean, aside from that, your current products, what's the reception like, other than sizing, of course?
Yeah. So for the rashguards, they haven't been as hot of a product as the knee brace. I think part of that is partly due to like just the fashion industry being a little bit different from like I guess a more functional product like the knee brace.
Sure.
And I think there is so there hasn't been as much demand for those products. Although we are starting to sell more and more of them off the back of the knee brace. The products themselves, yeah, the fitting of them has been pretty decent, to be honest. That hasn't been like an issue with them. The last kind of batch of rash guards that we got made, it seems like the kind of material on them was a little bit thinner than the first ones.
I have been monitoring that, yeah, and
yeah,
I think that the procurement team are dealing with that with the supplier.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, as you say, competition wise, it's huge with you know, kind of compression tops and stuff like that. Your design is definitely very unique, and it's obviously definitely going to appeal to a certain niche. So even if you get like the perfect product in terms of functionality, there's going to be that divide. You know, some people like really loud stuff, loud designs. Other want like discreet, like, I don't know, Under Armour or something like that. But maybe you can broaden that, your product range. You can have the really extravagant, colorful design, and then you can have like a different kind of version of design. But the great thing here is that you're building this list of customers, whether they've purchased or not, and it gives you the ability to, as you know, create polls or send out email campaigns of different kind of designs and see what kind of reception you get, what kind of feedback you get. And this, as I said, this is the beauty of it, because you can do this for free. Companies spend millions on this kind of feedback, market testing and market research. So even though the rash guards may not seem like they're as hot of a product as the knee braces, if you get that right, and if you test your current audience, you will know what they want or what they're potentially going to prefer. And the great thing is that you don't have to, because you have the supply chain already set up, you have the supplier, qualities there. Hopefully we can sort of sizing out. It will just be the case of doing like a test run of a specific design. You don't have to do, you know, thousands of units. You could do a few hundred, test the market, and it's just literally like that. I mean, it's no different to drop shipping in a way. It's just product market fit, and you're halfway there, probably 80% there actually, to be honest. And then you can go on to different fightwear, not just rash guards or knee braces, etc.
That is the plan essentially. I think there will be like a kind of compound effect of what we're doing right now. Like more and more people are kind of starting to recognize the brand. Like I've met a couple of people in Thailand who bought our products, so I'm like, we're kind of getting there, and we haven't really tried to market the rash guards in a while because we've been so focused on an e-brace. So I think that just with more designs, and as you said, remarketing to people, there's probably like quite a significant business just in the remarketing on its own at this point. But I think we'll reach like an inflection point where we'll become like a kind of known brand we'll want to buy from.
Definitely. Yeah, and this is the other thing I wanted to touch base on this call, is that as you get bigger, as you become more recognized, you're going to get copycats and, you know, people trying to kind of rip your store and your products. So, and this is where it's really handy that we come in, because, you know, when we do have these relationships with the factories, as a Chinese company, we have contracts with them directly. And, you know, that kind of indirectly protects you. So for example, if you, I don't know, went and ordered the goods on Alibaba or directly with a Chinese company, and you write up an agreement or contract, ultimately, if they were to rip it or to copy it or whatever, you could try and go through legal proceedings, but the amount of time and money you would spend, it will just be pointless. Whereas in, you know, Chinese law, a Chinese contract written, the agreement between two Chinese companies, it's much easier for us to file a claim or take them to court, as opposed to somebody who from a completely different country. So that's something you have to kind of keep in your mind as well. As you get bigger, it almost certainly is going to happen. It's just a matter of time. It's just, you know, being able to deal with it. So it's great to have some kind of plan in place if that does happen. I mean, I'm guessing you're on the Shopify platform, right? Yeah. So, I mean, there's obviously precautions you can take and things you can do, like do DCMA takedowns and report their advertising accounts and stuff like that. But at the same time, you know, we'll do our side to make it clear if this does happen. We'll open an investigation and make sure that the leak hasn't happened from that manufacturer, or at least, you know, attempt to find out where the leaks come from. Sometimes you'll never know where it's come from. But yeah, it's a good problem to have, obviously. Because you're doing right.
No, that's obviously one of the big like kind of benefits of working with you guys, is that you know, we do have a kind of team in China who've got our back on things and can help us when things like that happen.
Yeah, definitely going to happen. And it's, as I said, it's going to be a good thing to happen, because you know you've made it. For you to be that big as a brand developed from scratch, from the bottom up, your own designs, your own, because you haven't copied or modeled anything. You've done it yourself, right? All the designs, everything has been done yourself, and it's kind of akin to like kind of Gymshark, they started off dropshipping. They started off with simple products, maybe one or two, and then it blew up, went crazy. They found the gap in the market, and now they've got a huge range of products. But yeah, exciting times. And yeah, looking forward to you coming to China. A bit difficult with the times. You kind of chose the holiday period, but fingers crossed we'll be able to, because you're going to go to Shanghai, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So luckily we're not that far away from Shanghai.
Yeah.
Geographically, I think you can get a train to us, and it takes about 4 hours. Or if you fly, it's like, I don't know, an hour and a half or something like that.
Really? I thought it wasn't that far. That's why I chose Shanghai.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, but if for any reason you're really tight on time or you can't make it, if I do have the time, I'll come out and meet you guys in Shanghai as well. But I believe your manufacturer is quite local to Shanghai.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure Helen can meet up with you and show you around. But I'll try my best to be there as well.
Where is guys' warehouse? I kind of had in my mind that it was like a little bit north of Shanghai.
It's actually, I mean, if you look at the map, it's literally bang in the middle. It's not close to like Shenzhen, that area. So if, I don't know, if Shanghai's here, we're like about there. But it's still, I mean, China, based on China geographically, it's not considered that far.
Wow.
But it's probably traveling from London to Scotland or something like that.
What's the area called?
Zhengzhou. It's ENG, sorry. ZHOU.
Do you know what? A lot of it sounds so similar. I kind of had in my head.
I know. It's fine, no worries.
I remember looking at it on the map and I was like, it's not that, doesn't look that far.
No worries. So how much longer are you going to be in Thailand for?
We're here until the end of next month, really.
Oh, okay.
And then going to Hong Kong.
Oh, you're going to Hong Kong for travel? Or?
Just for a bit of a holiday, really.
Okay. And then back to Thailand? Or?
And then into China, yeah.
So when are you heading back to the UK?
We're going back on the 8th of May. I don't think we could have really went any later. My sister is having twins sometime in May, and like
at the first, you see, you're going to be an uncle for the first time, or
yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So it'll be exciting, man. It'll be exciting. I'm really looking forward to the trip to China. Like
your first time?
I came with my dad around 5 years ago, something like that. He's got a business that sells alcohol, and they get the glass made. Glass made there in Shanghai.
Well, like the bottles and
yeah, they make the glass for the bottles there and the packaging, and then the spirit comes from
Scotch whiskey.
yeah. So they're working on a Scotch whiskey right now, and obviously the whiskey, like the actual whiskey itself, comes from Scotland. But yeah, funny enough, it's cheaper to get this glass produced in China and ship it across the world.
That's crazy, yeah.
Get it made. And
how long has he been doing that for?
Probably about like 3 or 4 years now.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, so that was quite good to come to China before. We went to one of these like kind of it was like a kind of convention or something. It just happened to be on for like all these different products and things like that. Yeah, that was kind of cool to see, man.
Nice. So he found the manufacturer directly by going to these expos and.
I think he just found them online actually, and like we've met the guy a couple of times out here. He owns like loads of different businesses. I think he's like a billionaire or something.
Okay.
But he's
great.
Yeah, he's quite an interesting guy. I don't know how my dad got in touch with him, but he's like kind of mates with him now.
Is he Chinese or is he?
He's French.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I was wondering when you were speaking earlier on about like the adjustable straps. I just had a question, like, how did you get into the line of work that you're in now?
So I originally started. I've always, from quite young, I've always had that kind of entrepreneurial kind of spirit, and always been curious. And I've always been business minded and financially acute. So I started working from a very young age, like 14, 15. Yep. And I didn't go to college or university. I'm not the kind of academic type. I think like studying. So yeah, but long story short, I was always trying something while I was working full time. I first, in terms of e-commerce and making money online, I started affiliate marketing in like 2015, 16, because my friend was in it. He was making money, and he was like, try this.
Yeah.
I didn't manage to make it work, although I didn't make some money, so it kind of changed my mindset.
Yeah.
And after a few months, I was like, it's not working. I'm breaking even or losing money. And while my friend was killing it, he bought a dropshipping course. He was like, look, I'm still making money from this affiliate marketing. I'm planning to try this dropshipping out, but I paid for the course. You test it out because affiliate marketing is not working for you.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. It was I still remember it was Adrian Morrison course.
All right.
When it first came out, and it was like $2,500.
Yeah.
I mean, now you can get free courses, but back then it was, you have to pay a lot of money for these courses.
Yeah.
So anyway, I started doing it. This is when there were no apps. I was literally, copy and pasting product images and manually uploading them to Shopify and manually ordering from AliExpress. There wasn't any automated apps or anything. There was different times.
Yeah.
But I managed to make it work, mainly because advertising was so cheap back then. You could be selling. I was selling £10 products, and I didn't have any upsells. I wasn't doing retargeting, and it was just one item orders delivered to customers, and I was still making good money. and I didn't need to increase my average order value. And I mean, for you to do that now is unheard of, right?
Yeah.
And so it seemed as though every 5 products I tested, I would find something that would sell really well. So I made good success with that. Then I kind of ventured into like one product stores, then doing my own branding, then done like product development, doing products from scratch, and literally just doing everything I possibly could. And ultimately, eventually, things started tapering off. Competition was there, advertising increased. It wasn't as easy. Had a few kind of failed ventures. I've done like three brands. Well, one in particular I've done from scratch product development. It was like a lipstick brand. Invested a lot in it, and that didn't go down too well.
Yeah.
But after that, I mean, during that period, I was doing my own fulfillment anyway. Had like a little small team because I had a few e-commerce stores, and I was with my business partner. He was doing e-commerce as well, so it made sense for us to do our own fulfillment. And I actually wanted to get into this much earlier because I had the same issues everyone else was having, finding a reliable, reputable fulfillment company or agent that just told you the truth, right? That if there's any issues, you knew what was going on, and they just offered good service. I was struggling so much to find a company like that. I just couldn't find one. That's the main reason why I wanted to create a fulfillment company, because I saw a massive gap in the market. So during the time we were doing our own fulfillment, our own logistics, I was told my business partner, look, let's go into this, because there's so many people that need a decently run, transparent fulfillment process, and that has no money in it. We're making money from e-commerce. What's the point? Blah, blah. And as his stores started dying out, mine started dying out. I was like, look, come on, let's do it. I promise this will work. He's like, okay, let's give it a go. So I still remember I kind of put it all together. I shot like the videos, done like a really rubbish landing page. We didn't have a website or anything, and I created like a Facebook page. And back then it was easy, because you could go to Facebook groups, and as soon as I kind of mentioned, look, we're a UK managed fulfillment company, it was like, oh wow, I can actually speak to somebody who is a native English speaker, and who can answer my questions and this, that, and the other. So when as you know, there's loads of Facebook groups around e-commerce and dropshipping, and back then there were lots of questions. Do you know a good agent, this, that, and the other. When you posted in there, you get not flooded, but you get a decent amount of queries. And I mean, I'm not the best at sales, but I think it kind of sold itself for them knowing that they could speak to an English person. And back then I was doing almost everything. I was doing customer service, I was doing the invoicing as a new business. And because our e-commerce store and stores, as well as the fulfillment side, was all Chinese run, right? There wasn't any need for foreign English speaking staff or anything like that, except for customer service. But I was the only one that knew the business in and out. So it literally was starting from scratch, fresh, And that's how it came about. You know, that's pretty much where the business came from. And it was only because I went down that kind of dropshipping e-commerce route that I was able to transition into this business model. And I don't look back. Obviously, it's much more challenging now. There's more competition, but I enjoy what I do. I love serving customers and being able to find solutions and watching them grow, especially, you know, like yourself, those who just start dropshipping, they find a market fit, and then they transition from dropshippers into like a proper brand, do their own product development and manufacturing. And I've seen it quite a few times, and it's amazing what can happen. I mean, you're not the only one. They're one of our oldest customers is exactly what happened with them, and now they've got a huge product line. It was clothing based as well, but they started with footwear. Now they've got accessories, jewelries, you name it, footwear, everything they've got, and they manufacture everything themselves, like brands, the designs, everything.
Yeah, right. Okay, so you're kind of in a way similar path to me. You kind of got into dropshipping and then just kind of found something a little bit different.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Kind of went with it, but
that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like if you're in that industry and you're not adapting and changing what you're doing, then things are just gonna slowly gonna go down over time. But
100%.
I guess like with your business now, it's like there's a lot more of a kind of sometimes for us everything feels kind of entirely online, whereas you're probably a bit more like you've got the warehouse now, a bit more kind of things happening.
Definitely.
The physical realm, I guess.
There's lots of moving parts behind. Of course, there's lots of software involved in digital aspect, but you know, you need people to physically pack the goods. You need people to order the goods. You need it's a proper business. You know, you've got a HR team, we've got an accounting team, so it's no different to any other business. Although with the digital space, especially with the app that we've developed, I don't think you have the need to use it that much, but it kind of feels as though there's not that many people involved, whereas in fact there's a lot of people involved.
Right, yeah. I've only just started using the app really. There hasn't been a massive need, I don't know, for us to use it yet.
Sure, yeah.
So we've kind of only just started doing that. How many of the clients that you're working with are developing like a lot of different kind of products?
Off the top of my head, probably about 5. So it's not a huge amount.
With us being one of them?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So when I say developing, is that they're actively developing new products to their product lines. So they're established. They've been established for at least 2 to 3 years. Not all of them came from dropshipping. Probably about half of them.
Okay.
Whereas the others were just got it lucky from the get go. Yeah. They took the jump, invested in. So I mean, there have been lots of clients that come on board that take that risk, that say, okay, they've got all the data, everything looks promising, they're going to take the risk and develop a product. And I always give them my honest opinion, and I'll always tell them, keep the risk as low as possible. That's the beauty of dropshipping. Try it first. Even though you can't, slap your brand on or do your own kind of style of development, you can kind of test anyway with similar products on the market. Yeah. But some of them just do it anyway. They said, no, don't want to touch dropshipping. So okay, cool. Entirely up to you, but I'll tell you all the risks. They say, yeah, they know. They go ahead. The majority of time, they go ahead and order themselves from Alibaba or wherever. That's fine as well, not an issue. But they use us as a 3PL. So they would send the goods to us. They start their marketing, and sometimes they would sell a few, here or there. They maybe ordered 500,000 units, but the majority of the time, they can't shift it. And that's the biggest issue, because, as you know, the stock is there. It's dead stock. We obviously give them as much chance as possible. We don't start charging storage charges. Officially we would say we'll give you 2 months free storage. Sometimes we've given them 6 months to try and help them get that traction, but usually it never happens. And unfortunately, the stock just has to get destroyed, or we throw it out, or we ship it somewhere else. And it's quite sad, really. But yeah, it's quite a vicious, unforgiving market. And that, if you're able to test it first, like you've done with dropshipping, at least you can validate it, and it gives you a much higher chance of success.
Yeah, like you said, there is just that risk involved, and I guess for us, like we did kind of start off kind of just drop shipping on eBrace, and then just to kind of holding the one with inventory off the shelf. To be honest, we've kind of done really well with that as well. But I think we had to release develop the eBrace product the way we did because of the scale we were at, more and more people were just kind of becoming aware you could just buy a product on Amazon for like the price.
Exactly.
So like with all the marketing in the world, like I guess we were just becoming that size where people were more aware.
Yeah. Are you selling on Amazon as well? Or?
You know what, we're not, and like I was just the other day, like I was like, we need to get on Amazon like ASAP. There's part of me that like realizes that Amazon, a lot of our customers are probably just going to buy a product on Amazon that they would have bought from us.
Yeah.
But I guess it's like how much of new customers are you going to get as well? Probably a substantial amount. So that's something
I think regardless, it's great to be on as many platforms as possible. I mean, ultimately, you're obviously going to want them to come via Shopify. Because you're going to get the leads, you're going to get the emails and stuff like that. And obvious ways of doing that and strategies is to offer discounts on Shopify as opposed to through Amazon or eBay or whatever. But it's definitely been omnipresent there. It's going to help your brand recognition even more, even though there's a downside to the marketing aspect.
Yeah, that's something that we're looking to do over like the course of the probably the next month. We're looking to get on there. For like all the other product lines that we're looking to do, like for example, like a gi or like different kinds of shorts materials and things like that. What is the kind of best way to work with your team? Kind of what I've been thinking right now is if we can just get an example of kind of what we're looking for and send it, send it over.
It's always best to model on something rather than reinvent the wheel. Because there's so many gi manufacturers out there, that is the best way to do it. Choose what you're kind of looking for or kind of halfway looking for, and make adjustments to that. And yes, that's the best way to do it, is to get that product physically, get it sent to us. Preferably, I mean, depending on timing, how quickly you want to get it turned around. I would always recommend sending a few samples instead of just one. Send 4 or 5, so that we can go and approach different manufacturers and compare not only pricing, speed, quality, lots of different aspects. And of course, we're going to be approaching not just a general clothing manufacturer, but someone that specializes in fightwear or gis in particular. So that's what I would recommend. And I don't know if it's something that you're going to want to make adjustments to, or obviously design wise, but functionality wise, if you are, obviously that takes a longer time. As you know, you would need samples, sending back and forth. But yeah, I wouldn't really recommend it any other way, because it's going to save a lot of time on development, instead of going down the road of starting from scratch, making your own product, getting them to develop. When it's done, you have to test it. There might be an issue. You have to do it again, and it's quite time consuming.
And I totally agree with all of that. One of the things I've learned recently is kind of like when we're maybe developing a kind of completely new product, we're not necessarily placing this high in MOQ to the way that we're placing a very high volume with our eBrace product for a supplier. So we're going to be quite a higher priority for that manufacturer. Whereas with new kind of product lines, we're always going to be developing at a small number.
Especially when you deal with new manufacturers. So if it is a product where we don't have a contact for in our database, then yes. I mean, it's not 100% of the time that will be the case. Sometimes we are able to find a really good manufacturer fit that isn't crazy busy, and that can turn around pretty quickly. But generally speaking, yes, you're not going to be that high in the priority with a manufacturer that you have an existing relationship with and a good relationship with. But that's not the end of the world, not a massive issue. That's how relationships are made. Over time, it takes a while to gain that trust and that relationship, and ultimately you're able to physically go there. You have that luxury to be able to meet in person, and it just strengthens the bond. You probably get better pricing, more priority with the manufacturing and the speed and stuff like that. So it helps a lot, especially with the Chinese culture, to be able to physically meet them. And not only that, if you are not sure if you know, but kind of food and drink over here is a massive thing, and that's where you build the relationship. So if you're able to take the time out and literally sit down with them, have a meal, get pissed together, literally.
Okay.
That will strengthen your bond untold. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if you're a huge drinker, but try and prepare yourself. Yeah, so, but they won't, generally speaking, they won't like have spirits wise. It will be more rice wine. I don't know if you've had that.
All right, okay. I've heard of it. Yeah,
it's quite difficult to stomach. Yeah, but yeah, even like very simple small gestures go a very long way. So if, for example, I'll give you an example would be if you were to bring your dad's whiskey over and say, you know, this has been made in Scotland by my father, you know, he actually manufactures this, that will go a massive way. And yeah, I mean, whether that's kind of what we do anyway, you know, we kind of gift the bosses with stuff and keep them sweet, but as I said, it's even more kind of touching and will strengthen that bond even further if it actually comes directly from you. Every little bit counts.
That's actually yeah, that's like great to know.
Obviously you can't now, but you know, you can't get your dad to send over a bottle of whiskey.
Well, maybe I could. Do you know that? Maybe I could. Maybe the issue would potentially be the customs and things like that.
Sure.
But it would definitely be up for sending it with DHL or something.
So, yeah, I mean, even if you can't hand it to him in person,
yeah,
you know, you can probably send it to him and with a little note.
Yeah, that's true actually, isn't it? But right, okay. You know what? It would be great to come and meet you guys over in China. I didn't realize it was like 4 hours from Shanghai.
No, that's fine, no worries. I mean, flight wise, it's about an hour and a half, so it's not as bad. But it's obviously going to the airport, the security and all that stuff. It's going to take about 4 hours anyway. So sometimes it is, even though it takes longer on the train, it's probably about the same time door to door. But right, we'll figure something out. Don't worry.
Yeah, we'll figure something out for sure, man.
Definitely. Any other questions at all?
Not really. I guess the main thing I was just kind of wondering was how to kind of if I was working the best way with your team to try and get some of the new product lines kind of pushed forward. But yeah, sounds like it's.
Yeah, I mean, if at any time, obviously because as a business we have SOPs and processes and stuff like that. Yeah. If at any time you think it's plodding along or it's not going as fast as it should, or you think there's a sticking point for any reason, whether that's you can't get your message across or they're just too slow, just tag me in the main channel, especially now that I'm physically present. I'll be able to move things along and just make sure it's as efficient as it possibly can. And as I said, you know, if you want me to physically actually test something or check something, I can. All it takes is just a message to me, and I'm literally in the same warehouse. I'm very much looking forward to seeing you in May. You said, isn't it?
Yeah, May.
Cool.
But likewise, mate, thanks for reaching out and scheduling the call. It's been good to touch base, and yeah, let's definitely try and meet up when I'm over in China.
Definitely start conditioning that liver.
Yeah. On the moonshine.
yeah, pretty much. All right. Okay. Take care, Luke, and look forward to speaking soon.
Likewise. Talk soon, bro.
Okay.